Rain, windy, just a mess out there. Not a great afternoon to be out and about. You can see the rain continues through the afternoon. It'll be done by around 6, 7 o'clock, though, so that's good news for your dinner plans. If you're going out tonight, you may not even need the umbrella. Make sure you have our app so you can have the radar in the palm of your hand and really track that rain with us throughout the day. Tomorrow is the better half of the weekend. Sunshine returns. We're drying out, 44, and then it's partly cloudy. The work week is just fine. We have temperatures that are generally above average, no major storms. In fact, our next chance of rain not until, of course, next weekend. It wouldn't be a weekend without a storm, I guess. And we're tracking another chance for rain and snow. Again, winter having trouble taking hold, and getting any real snow around here seems to be a problem. That doesn't look to change anytime soon. Yeah, so again, some indoor plans for today, and you're all good.
Find a project, get it done. All right, thanks, Raph. All right, we'll see you back here at 9 o'clock, folks.
Good morning. Breaking overnight, take her out. A new audio recording revealed with a voice that appears to be the president talking about the ousting of former ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch.
Take her out. Take her out. Okay? Excellent. Do it.
That recording turned over to House Democrats by an attorney for Rudy Giuliani associate Lev Parnas. What could it mean for the impeachment trial? The defense's turn. Lawyers for President Trump preparing to make their case for the first time in the president's trial as House Democrats wrap up their opening arguments late Friday, pleading with senators to keep an open mind no matter the consequences.
Give America a fair trial. She's worth it.
Worldwide spread. A second case of the coronavirus confirmed in the U.S., with dozens of others here being tested for the disease. The death toll rising, patients showing up around the globe as tens of millions in China are under lockdown. This morning, what you need to know. All that plus taking the stand. Rosie Perez testifies in the rape trial against Harvey Weinstein. Could her testimony help convict him? This girl is on fire. 15-year-old Coco Gauff reveling this morning after her huge win over the defending champ in the third round of the Australian Open.
Honestly, what is my life? Oh my gosh.
And live long and prosper. President Trump unveiling the new logo for the Space Force, leaving some to say it bears a striking resemblance to the Star Trek symbol. Today, Saturday, January 25th, 2020.
From NBC News, this is Today with Peter Alexander, Kristen Welker, and Dylan Dreyer. Live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Welcome to Today. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday morning. I feel like William Shatner may ask for royalties pretty soon as you see that Star Trek symbol next to the Space Force one. Can you do your little Vulcan greeting?
All right, I'm going to put my pen down. I'm going to try to do it. Is that it?
I can't.
Is that it? Can you do it?
I can only do West Side. I can't really do it.
Not as nimble over here.
It needs a little bit of work here.
We're going to work on that.
We'll be talking about that in a bit. First, of course, we want to get to our top story. The latest on the impeachment trial of President Trump. It is set to kick off a bit later this morning at the Capitol. The Senate getting an earlier start today. So here is the very latest. Overnight, House Democrats wrapping up their opening arguments, closing out their 24 hours by focusing on the second article of impeachment, obstruction of Congress.
Congressman Jerry Nadler called President Trump a dictator who must be removed from office. And now it's the defense's turn. Lawyers for President Trump will begin making their case later this morning. They're only expected to speak for a few hours, saving the majority of their arguments for Monday, when there's a larger television audience.
But this morning, new questions about a potential piece of new evidence, an audio recording that appears to show the president speaking about firing the former ambassador to Ukraine, saying, quote, take her out. We have it all covered this morning, including a conversation with one of the jurors at the impeachment trial, Democratic presidential candidate, Senator Amy Klobuchar. But we want to begin with NBC's Garrett Hake. He is on Capitol Hill this morning. Garrett, good morning.
Good morning, Peter. Yeah, even as those Democratic impeachment managers wrapped up their opening arguments last night, they still don't know if they'll be able to call additional witnesses or subpoena additional documents. But even at this late stage in the impeachment process, they are still receiving new evidence. This morning, the president's lawyers are preparing to return fire on the Senate floor amid the fallout of an explosive new recording. In a 2018, President Trump appears to be talking to Rudy Giuliani associate Lev Parnas and others about removing U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch. This after Parnas raised red flags about her.
The biggest problem there, I think, where we need to start is we got to get rid of the ambassador. She's still left over from the Clinton administration. Where the ambassador basically walk around telling everybody, wait, he's going to get impeached, just wait. I mean, it's incredible.
A man who sounds like the president then issues an ultimatum.
Get rid of her. Hooray. Get her out tomorrow. I don't care. Get her out tomorrow. Take her out. Okay? Excellent. Do it.
NBC News has not heard the entire audio recording. An attorney for Parnas, who is under indictment for violating campaign finance laws, turned the recording over to House Democrats. The president has claimed he does not know Parnas and fired Yovanovitch the next year. The president's allies are...
Means nothing. He can fire anybody he wants to. He had lost confidence in her.
The impeachment managers declined to comment on the recording, shifting their focus from the allegations President Trump abused his power.
He is a dictator.
And zeroing in on the second article of impeachment, that he covered up that abuse by obstructing Congress.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
The managers arguing into the night that the president's blanket refusal to hand over documents and efforts to block witnesses from testifying constitute an impeachable offense on their own.
Added together, the president's positions amount to a license to do anything he wants.
Democrats alleging an unprecedented presidential cover-up, with Republicans defending the president for doing his job.
Obstruction of Congress is what the founders called separation of power. The case that the Democrats are making is ridiculous.
Closing out the last night, an emotional Congressman Adam Schiff once again setting the stakes for the critical votes to come to protect both Congress.
If the Congress cannot, because the president prevents it, investigate the president's own wrongdoing, there will be no more impeachment power. It will be gone. It will be gone.
And the country.
Give America a fair trial. She's worth it.
The trial resumes again this morning at 10 o'clock. It's still a few days yet until senators will have to vote on whether they'd like to hear from additional witnesses. But beginning today, the president's lawyers will try to convince them they've heard enough. Peter and Kristen.
Garrett Haake on Capitol Hill this morning. Garrett, thank you.
We want to turn now to the president's defense as his team of lawyers prepare to make their opening arguments in just a few hours. Today's hearing coming just hours after the president spoke out about that potentially explosive recording that could link him to indicted Rudy Giuliani associate Lev Parnas. NBC's Kelly O'Donnell is at the White House with more. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning, Kristen. The president is already expressing frustration, claiming that his side is at a public relations disadvantage because he believes fewer people will watch the Senate trial on a Saturday morning compared to the prime time that the House Democrats had. Of course, the 100 senators who will decide his fate will be there, and they will be hearing a very different version of events from the Trump defense team. Meanwhile, the president is again distancing himself from a Giuliani ally who claims he was part of a plot to remove a U.S. ambassador.